Okay, I want to talk about the flat Earth thing, the movement of the flat Earth theory. Okay, I have my own feeling about it. Yes, and I do explore the differences and what's according to the possibilities and so on. Yes. I can tell my experiences. Let's say that in this way you can have an out of body experience. You can remote view. It's all real. Yes, it's nothing new about it, especially for the science. And I know it already. The science, okay. You have always science who closed mind. Don't want to touch it. Others have an open mind to investigate it, and you have the top science, and I mean the top science, they know it, of course. Anyway, so yes, you can observe, and even then you can be fooled also by some systems. I have no doubt about that, but you can actually observe what is out there. Yeah. But yes, for example, there are some things that I have questions about also. For example, when you go, I have a couple of experiences out there, yeah, different kinds, but one of, for example, when you have an out of body or you do remote viewing, sometimes I cannot recognize, but sometimes I know I am a remote viewing because I am aware I am in my bed, and then I can capture things, okay. Sometimes not so clear, sometimes very clear. But on other experiences I cannot say after I have that experience, was I out of body or was I remote viewing or was it something else. But when I was out there, as I know and I've seen no stars at all. Very interesting. I have experienced it already a couple times. But to give you an example, from the view I had up there, yes, and don't ask me in which solar system I was or whatever, I don't know that. I am an honest person. I always will say what I have experienced, and what I don't want to make up something. Yes, it was in our solar system, while I do not know if that is true. But also on that distance, okay, here, and sometimes I do not can correctly remember. For example, there was a planet, let's call it planet next to it, this one, and totally blue as far as I know, blackness of space, no stars can be seen, nothing. Here was another object that blocks the sunlight. I saw a little bit of light, a tiny bit, but it was blocked down. It was like a moon eclipse, but seen from space itself, and also I was on that distance. Yes, if you can see it, yeah, here. So I was on that distance, yes. For example, where you are and you're looking like this at this paper, yeah. So these two were not flat, at least how I saw it, okay. And no land, I saw no land, nothing, just blue, obviously planet kind of way. And here was a kind of a structure. It could be the moon, yeah, that blocks the sunlight. But no stars, nothing, just blackness, yes. And then suddenly that object here starts to move, like we see with the moon, sun eclipse. The moon starts to move, downwards, kind of way. And then the sun appears again, but the sun is very bright, even from that distance, it's, and then more I do not know, I was waking up, in my bed, so, but I know the sun is very, very, even on that distance, can be very bright. So yes, but I didn't saw these two planets as a flat kind of structure, like this. Yes, if this was the sun, and the Earth will be flat, for example. Like I said, I cannot not recall it if it was our solar system. Yeah. But I don't saw this object as this flat kind of thing. No, it was perfect round here also. So I saw no land, so far from the distance, and no clouds or whatever. It's just bluish, okay. So very interesting. And if there was a planet next to us, for example, if it was us, but also very interesting also that I want to mention, if you take that away, from the view where I was, I saw, normally if this was the sun here, and it was the sun, very lucky because that move, object could be the moon, and going downwards again, then the sun appears white. The sun is pure white light, and then it blocked me, and I became back awake in my bed here. But what I saw during the eclipse, let's say it in that way, I saw that normally this must be in darkness, I cannot able to see it because the sun is blocked. But in this case, it was like there was another light source here, because I saw here it was visible, okay, as if that the sun was here. So there was another light source. That's obviously, the question. But then sometimes I can have experiences, many experiences, different kinds, and it's like a puzzle piece, and I can, with some of the experiences, I can put the pieces together to have a wider picture. Anyway, so that so I cannot recall it out of body, remote viewing, or something else, but I saw it. That's a fact. Okay, I have not made it up. That's I do not, with every experiences, and don't make things up. I'm a very honest person. There is no joke. I see no reason why to joke about something, and to make things up. To confuse people, and I am not like that. For sure, not like that. I am too serious to do that. Anyway, so yes. Then the experience I had before this experience, okay, before this one, the experience I had, not the experience, but I saw once ice from the International Space Station, For example, this is the Earth, just to give you an example. Yes, here I have also questions about it, okay. So when International Space Station goes to here is the sun, but at the night side, okay. Now, when you see at the film, you see the stars and whatever. Could it be that maybe the camera is on infrared kind of way, so you can be able to see stars, yes. But like I said, even of my experience, I didn't see any stars on that experience when the sun was blocked. But on the other hand, you had the sun, a kind of second light here, like of the other side, very interesting, you know, about that what I saw here. So of the video of the International Space Station. So yes, it filmed the stars and so on at the night side. But what was very interesting was there was here a star-like with a long arm, you know, like the sun. It has also a long arm, yeah, of light, and so while it moves, it passes so-called, you know, passing the other light source. It was like nearby, yeah, and but what was interesting that the arm capture the light capture the International Space Station. You know, you saw that on the camera, you know, and then you see the light going away, and because the International Space Station is moving, but then shortly just after that, you see the sun upcoming, yeah, or the International Space Station goes closer to the sun. But as I can remember, is that the sun comes from the curve here, you know. Of course, the camera can always show a little bit an artificial curve, okay, that I know that, but it looked that way, and then the sun appears, and the International Space Station cannot film in the sun. It's impossible because the sun is too, with that kind of camera, the sun is too bright. So they stopped filming, yeah. And then of course you see then the next clip about the day side, yes. But it's very interesting about that other light source, and it must be close because it captured it was like this, you know. For example, if this was the Earth, you know, this International Space Station, yeah, the camera, stars at the night side, yeah. And then here, suddenly, you know, here, it passes like a kind of a star, like with the arm was like this, okay, like this kind of, I don't recall it if it was like this, but here, yes. So the International Space Station, you know, you see it moving, but because the International Space Station moves, yes, so it goes like this, and the light here, you know, when it was out of sight, you see on the International Space Station a kind of light shining on it, you know, and then it goes further, the light, you see, then the light goes away on the International Space Station, and then you see the sun upcoming, you know, and then they must stop filming because the sun is too bright to film in. So that's a very interesting thing. Now, could it be having something to do with this here the sun, and there is was another light source, because these two planets were seen. I saw it, you know. So if this was the sun and it was a moon eclipse, sun eclipse by the moon, let's call it the moon here, that blocked the sun, what was the second light source? So it's just possibilities, you know. I tried to find it out myself what this was about, but when you look at the flat Earth model, they say there is a sun here, there is a sun here, you know, and there are a couple of let's say you have our land here, water, and the enormous ice wall in a circle. Then you have another section, water, land around it, an ice circle, and each of it has a sun kind of way. A little bit strange, but okay. But one thing I can say, you know, and that's another thing, and I had one time a vision, so to speak, okay. Also because most of it happens at night, when something occurs. There was a second sun. No, that's very interesting. Yes, a second sun that I saw. And if I can look, I haven't drawn it, of course. I have it somewhere. Kind of second sun. The other one was a little bit bigger, I think. Cannot recall it if it was like this or this, but it was for sure two suns seen in the sky. I saw no clouds, no whatever, just these two suns. Okay. So then I didn't know at the time, that was in 2009 or so, I didn't thought back then what it could be. But then later on, not far later on, maybe a couple of weeks later, I just came across information about science says there will be seen a second sun in the near close future, and they speak of a supernova, and it will be seen for a long period of time, and it will appear like a second sun. Now, my opinion is this is a kind of disinformation, that it will be something else. No, but it's very interesting, what I saw, and then this, this kind of sun-like. It could be that this come closer, and has, how must I say, something to do with it, with this, what I saw from the clip of the International Space Station, that other light source. It's very interesting, and like I said, my experience just with this in space, there was another light source here while the sun was there, broken down by the moon. It's very interesting. But for sure, these two planets that I saw was not flat, so it's I don't know. But it depends on the way you see it. You can look above something, and behind it is something else. But there was one person who says, also an expert, who says that on the other side of the sun you have another planet, and of course when you have all that space, why not? So another Earth-like planet, he says. So but yes, my opinion about the flat Earth kind of situation is I don't know, but there are always some errors, can be on both sides, the flat Earth and the round Earth situation can be some errors here and there. But yes, I try to find it out myself. For sure, a flat Earth is for me personally, but I think, and especially also what I saw, it's a kind of I don't know. But when you look at the maps, you go to Google Maps, you type Earth maps, for example. With some maps you will see, and that's very interesting also, you will see America, and then here, the entire map, but normally you will see here the ice, North Pole, South Pole, yes, but on some of the maps you see this of ice. So that's very interesting also. Now it could be that let's see, by the flat earthers, who created that, or I don't know, but it's very interesting to see. but yes, like I said, if you have the flat Earth, yes, and you have these seasons, they say the sun is going like this and then going wider like this, you know. But like I said, I know you cannot see further than you can see, you know. So then, even when it's flat, you cannot see further than this because we are small, and of course the Earth is, for us, it can be big. Yes, you cannot see further than. I cannot see for another, how they call it, section of the land, you know, of my land. Yes. Only when you are on a mountain you can reach much further. Yes, that's obviously. But the sun, you know, if it was that case, then the sun must be very small and low, you know, and it's a little bit, I don't know, yeah. But for the seasons, yes, like this. But on the other hand, people say that the sun has changed its position, okay, and the moon has not always his, let's say, the kind of cycle as we come across in the information about it, yes. So once it's here, then there, then there, then there, you know, it is, you know. So there is something going on there, yeah. And even about the moon itself. But when you have the Earth, for example, yes, and that's the sun, of course, the seasons, you can explain it also like this, yeah. For obviously, the sun is much higher, you know, and much lower. The winter time, summertime, winter time, summertime, and I think Africa has not much of a difference of, have not really, I don't know, it's just of my own that I asked somebody about the Africa, how it's there, they have winter, but it's, to me, it's like Africa is enormous, if we may believe the maps of the world, you know, that Africa has a limited of winter time, you know, because it's much lower than us, and because we have a limit time of summertime, yeah, and the, let's say, the ice, the North Pole has, the poles has also special limits, because if you look at the poles, and there's something very interesting also, if you look at the poles, you know, the sun is never high as summertime with us here, so it's always low, yes, limited. No, with us is winter time, and summertime the sun is much higher, the days are longer, the days are shorter. Now on the was North Pole, you know, obviously on the poles there is a much, you have not like high as we do, because they are higher than us in the world, so the sun has a limited of daylight, so and just it goes a little bit up, but not as much as with us here. So if here is the flat Earth, yeah, and the sun goes like this, and then it goes like this, then the North Pole, if I say it correctly, must also have a higher position of the sun, you know. So it's a little bit, I don't know, the flat Earth theory, and that the other planets are all above, spinning around, you know, and then you have these the polar star here. According to the model of the flat earthers, it never moves, but when we see, it's like the earth doesn't move, it stood still. And then they can also say, oh, if we move the water and all and everything we will all be floating around. That's something, there is so much, the earth has a gravity, and it doesn't matter where you walk, there is some measures, laws that I do not know of, but, there must be an explanation, of course, why when you go around the world, when you go to foot, you cannot still fall off. It's like, it's because of the gravity and because of some of the natural laws, yes. But so yes, for example, I give you a small example. When you are in a ship, the technology exists. You are in a ship, standing here. That is even protective field also, and a gravity field. So that means you are independent, from all what is from the natural laws outside that ship. Now that ship can go like this, it go like this, it go in speed like this. All that is in that ship can never fall off, or people it's not like an airplane as we know. When it goes to a fast speed, or it goes like this, of course, because that airplane has no field around it, in that way as some objects have, and the secrets, let's say, for example, places like Area 51, and you have others who experimenting and whatever, you have others civilizations out there who have this also, no doubt about it, even beyond it, the technology. But yes, you cannot fall off. I can understand it perfectly, in a way. It's difficult for someone who doesn't understand it, but it's like a kind of same system as the Earth has. You cannot fall off. The Earth can go boom, it can be touched by some force, and still, if it does not affect us, still for our system, everything can move. If we look at the night sky, but we are not going like this. So to give you an example of it, it's because of the system, the gravity system, and that field that protects you, or let's say that makes you independent from. For example, in space you have no gravity. That kind of way. If the system was broken here totally, then we will maybe float around, so yes, it's very interesting. But like I said, I have very doubts about the flat Earth theory, because it's on the other hand, it's too much easy explanation about the flat Earth. If you talk about, we cannot fall off because the Earth is flat, and you have a kind of structure above the Earth, so we can have oxygen and this and that. But we cannot fall off. Also, the water cannot fall off because of the high ice wall. No, that's a much, let's say, easy explanation to say why we cannot fall off and why we cannot go like this, because the Earth is not moving. It's just stood still, stationary, as they say. and everything else moves around, and the sun and all the other planets, they are not